Welcome to the Concur demo. This portion of the demo will cover a how-to on submitting an expense report on the Concur site with no exceptions or issues. Additional how-to guides will cover approving expense reports and submitting expense reports with expense type exceptions and how to resolve them to submit the reports. On this screen is the features of the Concur website that was sent out with a communication email. The main feature that will most likely be beneficial is the mobile app. You will need to download the Concur app. You log in to the app using the same credentials as the website. The features of the mobile app include submitting an expense report, approving a report. Also, you can manage receipts by taking pictures of them that will then show under your available receipts to attach to your reports. There is a mobile app help guide on Cenveo Central for reference to get you started. We will begin with logging on to Concur. Here's the login screen. The Concur link and username will be emailed to you from Concur prior to go live. Your password will be the same as your Cenveo Windows password that you use currently to log into your computer. Next, we will review the home screen. The taskbar in the upper right-hand side has such features as starting a new report, uploading receipts, available expenses, and open reports. The open reports will show a number, and that just shows how many draft forms that you currently have that need to be completed and submitted. And the available expenses, this is where your corporate card charges, if you have a Cenveo corporate card, will show. And then under the My Task at the bottom of the screen here, we have available expenses once again, and that too will show your corporate card charges that need to be applied to a report. On the right-hand side, we have once again the open report drafts, and this is just a quick way to click into a draft that you have created and need to finalize for submission. A new report, you want to first click on Start a Report. The report that we will create will not have any exceptions prompted to show a smooth report from start to finish. Once you click Start a New Report, you will then be required to complete the text boxes with the red bars. These indicate required fields. This will be a theme throughout creating a report. You can also change the report date as needed, along with add comments. Click Next in the bottom right-hand corner. The expense types will show on the right side of the screen. You can select one to enter the required information. We will begin with selecting breakfast. And once again, the required fields have the red bars. So we will select the transaction date. And if you have previous cities of purchase on your expense reports, they will show in a drop-down for you to select from. Once all the required fields have been completed, you can then click Save to apply it to the expense report. It will then show on the left side of the screen. We will now enter a charge that requires a receipt to be attached and show the options on how to attach it. Select fuel as the example. And once again, we have the required fields with the red bars. The information, once it has been entered, we will select the amount to be over the $25 threshold to prompt for the receipt to be attached. We'll click Save just to apply to the report so you can see where the exception would show. On the left-hand side, you have the icon that if you scroll over, it shows the receipt image required. So there's currently not a receipt attached to this particular charge. And the main difference between GERS and Concur in regards to receipts is GERS required receipts for the entire report. However, Concur requires them per charge. So each receipt needs to be attached to a particular charge in order for the report to be submitted. So we'll click back into the charge and we'll show you how to attach a receipt via one that has been scanned and saved on file. Click Attach Receipt in the bottom right hand corner, and then we will click on Browse to find where we have saved the receipt. And then once you have selected where that receipt has been saved, you can click on Attach. So once you have done that, a tab will appear next to Expense that shows Receipt Image. If you click on Receipt Image, it will load what you have saved and uploaded to the report. Receipt image loads, it will show you what we have attached to that particular charge on the expense report. There's another way to attach receipts as well. This is through email. If you go to Receipts with the drop down next to it, click on it. You go to View Available Receipts. And to email them in, you will need to first verify your email. This will only need to be done for the initial one. Going forward, once it's been verified, you will no longer need to do so. This is done by clicking on Verify My Email. Once in there, there will be a box to select, and you will receive a code via email to verify it. The emails will need to be sent from your Cenveo addresses in order to show under your profile. The email address that they should be sent to is receipts@concur.com. And once they have been emailed in, they will show on this screen, and you can upload them over here on the right hand side. If we click back into one of the charges that we have created and applied to the report, then on the right hand side in the lower corner, there are other options that include allocate and itemize. We will cover itemize in a later session, but to allocate, you can click on allocate, and it will pull up that particular charge. And this is to allocate to a code other than your default one under your profile. And you can allocate by either percentage or amount. You can click on Add New Allocation and then choose your percentage here. And then you'd want to save it and click Done. So that showed how to apply an out-of-pocket expense. And we will now cover applying a Cenveo corporate card charge. So for those card holders, this is where your expenses would show for you to apply them directly to a report. This profile does not have a card assigned to it, so it will not appear under our available expenses. However, if you refer to page 10 of the Concur Training Guide, which is this page here, the training guide is up on Cenveo Central, and it will show where the card charges appear to apply them to a report. So if we go back to the Concur site, the available expenses will show where it shows expense here. These expenses will show on this side for you to choose which ones you need to apply to the report. You will need to select the checkbox for the appropriate expense and then select any additional required fields that did not feed through, such as expense type may need to be filled in. Also, if the particular charge happens to be a personal expense, there is a box that you can select for personal expense so that that particular charge is not reimbursed on your total for your report. See, the card should not be used for personal expense. However, if there is a rare case that it does accidentally get used, then this is how you would handle that. Completed all the required fields and applied all the expenses that you need to be applied to the report, you will click on the Submit Report on the top right corner. The final review window will appear, and you can click Accept and Submit. In this case, there is no exceptions. However, errors or exceptions, if the report is not submitted, you will get a message describing the error or exception. In this case, there were no exceptions with this report. Errors or exceptions can happen if all required fields are not completed, the receipts are not attached, or appropriate expenses are not itemized. You will then need to correct them and hit Submit again. There's another how-to guide on how to cover these exceptions and how to resolve them that we will get to. And also, once your expense report has been submitted, your approver will receive an email notification, and you will receive one once it has been approved.